G'day, everybody. Now I want to talk about something that should relate to people, except rich people, because they change things so often, or when it does happen, they just change it. So they might relate because they might know how often they change things. But it all depends. But who's sick of had to light up their gas grill all the time if you use grills? Who thinks that they only last a year or so and then you can't light them? It's very annoying, hey? Who thinks that we have to go over the same lesson over and over and over again? Who doesn't jump in certain sectors so people don't have to have these things happen over and over again by making new standards? Now, when it comes to important things and simple things, you shouldn't cheap it out because it just creates more problems and waste. When it comes to these fire triggers, and decent ones you can get, they need to be decent, that part. There's things you can cheap out, and there's things that you shouldn't, because if you go cheap on everything, you just get a cheap product. True? So if you want something cheap, with cheap things that you can cheap out, and it still doesn't matter, maybe you're cheaper steel, maybe you're cheaper plastic to use for knobs, right? Because they don't break at all, people haven't whinged about it, right? But things that always play up, like these things here, these buttons useless. I've had to change them around. They get stuck. They don't work too good. But anyway, you could have another product, and there is other products out there, as we have thousands of buttons to choose from, that is just better. Why don't we just use these better ones? Why do we have big selection? Is it the way we see markets and stuff like that? How can we fix these particular spots? And a good way to fix it is what I've already done a video about, when it comes to governments can look at products that they sell to their people, that it comes to sell to their people, and to make sure, is it good for their people to buy, and do we need another product in the list, even though it's cheap, even though we've got 100 million of those things to choose from, right? Is it better that we have a cheap product so they suffer later on? Should we do this? And all this kind of stuff. Just researching products a bit more. Do you think the countries should do that more often for their people? Do the people agree that countries should do that for them and make it a little easier for when they go to choose, that things are actually made a bit more safe, and if it's not, they'll explain it to you a little more what you're buying. Things like that. Not saying even get rid of it. Maybe things need to be explained a little more. You understand? But anyway, who gets sick of lighting these things up dangerously all the time and have to go, whoa, and lose your hairs on your hand because of such things playing up? And is it worth having such dangerous things playing up, right? Do you think that sector and button and all this part, how this function, should be cheaply out? Should it be the product, the part that outlasts the product for safety reasons? Anyway, people, I'm going to leave that there. Have a good one, and let me know in comments what you think, what I just said. Bye-bye.